Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Anya.
Anya who?
On your marks. Get set. Go.
Welcome to A View from the Yard presents This Day in Sports. Sports. Today is Friday, October the 13th. Ooh, spooky Friday the 13th in October. It can only mean one thing. What's that?
Spooky episode?
Spooky episode! Did you pack anything spooky?
No.
Neither did I.
That's called the power of editing.
Editing. All right. So, anywho, welcome to another episode of This Day in Sports. Today, we are going to make sure that they know how to get in touch with us. So tell them how to get in touch with us, Trey, please.
Follow us on Twitter at View from the Yard, on Facebook at View Yard, and on Snapchat at View from the Yard.
Excellent. Very good. I'm glad you told them that. Now, should we get into it? It's actually a pretty short day. Oh.
Don't forget to subscribe,
like, yes.
Turn on post notifications to find out when we make a new video, and comment down below question of the day, which we'll tell you
when we get there.
So make sure to watch the whole video, because if you answer the question correctly, you have a chance of getting a shout out. Shout
out? All right, so here we go with the news. Today in 1903, way back when, the Boston Americans, yes, you heard me right, Boston Americans, of the American League beat the Pittsburgh Pirates of the National League 5-3 in the very first World Series between the newly formed American League and the National League. A little bit different than a couple days ago when I said the very first World Series, because this is the newly formed American League and National League now. So the World Series had a bunch of first World Series, and this is one of them. In 1914, the Boston Braves swept the Philadelphia A's for the first sweep in World Series history. The Braves were known as the Miracle Braves that year because they were in last place on the 4th of July, but then wound up going on such a winning streak that they won the National League pennant by 10.5 games. 10.5 games. The 1915 Boston Red Sox, the following year, beat the Philadelphia Phillies. So the year before we had the Philadelphia A's lose. The year after that, the Philadelphia Phillies lost to the Boston Red Sox 4-1. The Phillies actually won Game 1 of the World Series and then lost the next 4. We all know when the Phillies actually won their first World Series. So that is, Trey, come here. The question of the day. Say it. Question of the day. So what's the question of the day?
When did the Phillies win their first game? World Series.
Say it loud so everybody at home can hear you.
When did the Phillies win their first World Series?
You got it. That's the question of the day. It should be an easy one for Phillies fans. Down there, write it. Tell us what it is so we can give you a shout out. Okay, yeah, goodbye. 1920, World Series celebration in Wade Park. Had over 50,000 people come out because Cleveland, in Wade Park, that's the home of, well, that's a park in Cleveland. It was the Cleveland Indians' what? First World Series championship. So they had a big old celebration the next day. In 1921, two familiar names, the New York Giants beat the New York Yankees 5-3 in the 18th World Series. In 1960, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Mazaraki's bottom of the 9th leadoff home run, beat the Yankees 10-9 in Game 7 of the 57th World Series. So Pirates beating the Yankees, yay, in 1960 World Series. Last World Series for me, the 1971 World Series, was the first night game. That's what the facts say. Very first night game, 1971 World Series game, Pittsburgh beating Baltimore 4-3. And now we're going to go over to Trey with the rest of the World Series MLB news and birthdays. Hit it, Trey.
In 1991, The Blue Jays' Sid Augustin is the first manager to be ejected in a playoff game. In 1993, the Mighty Ducks win their first NHL game. In 1996, the Yankees and the Orioles combined to tie playoff record of 6 home runs. Now for the birthdays. If today's your birthday, well, happy birthday to you! You share your birthday with these people. 1876, Rube Waddell. 1895, Mike Gazella. 1931, Eddie Matthews, American Hall of Fame third baseman, Milwaukee Braves, who hit 512 home runs. 1942, Jerry Jones, the owner and the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. 1962, Jerry Rice. 1964, Chris Gwynn. 1967, Trevor Hoffman. 1968, Julio Valera. In 1969, Tim Crabtree. Those are all the birthdays, and happy birthday to you if today's your birthday on Friday the 13th.
Ooh, spooky Friday. Don't walk behind any, or don't let any black cats walk in front of you.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary.
Fun fact, this doesn't have to do anything with sports, but did you know that Friday the 13th has been in history for hundreds of years, and all through those years people have feared it?
Fear Friday the 13th. And if you're really afraid, go ahead and watch the movies. All right, I think that's about it for today. You got anything else to add?
Just make sure to follow us on all our social media. Facebook is View Yard. Twitter and Snapchat is View from the Yard. So make sure to go follow those and subscribe down below. Press the like button. Turn on post notifications and comment down below, when did the Phillies win their first World Series?
You know it. All right. Until tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.